Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Subject Podcast. I am Chris. I'm joined every single week by Mike.
Every single week.
Every single week. If you don't already know, we got new episodes coming every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
So make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button. We'll
Make
keep
sure
doing
you-
them.
Yeah, every Thursday
Every
from
single
here
Thursday.
until the year 20... I don't know. I reckon 23. I reckon that's a good one.
23.
The next
Okay.
300 years. So we have 300 years to get this done.
Yeah, you're assuming we're both going to live for the next 300 years.
I don't
Unless
know,
it's
I don't
just
know
like
what your plans are
a
for the next
generational
300 years.
thing.
Yeah.
We just pass it down to the
children's
kids.
children and our children's children.
We shall pass down a legacy. The likes of which you have never seen before.
And then our children will look back on these episodes and think, damn, that's bad.
I mean, you're not wrong. Speaking of bad, Rona's getting worse in Australia.
Yeah, Rona.
That was a sick segue.
Well, look here.
Anyway.
Like, Rona here in Australia, I feel like is not only getting bad because of the actual illness that's going around,
Yeah.
but the anti-masks people, anti-mask people are getting hella crazy here now. And they're starting to protest, for like civil rights.
And social distancing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And like, I'm a firm believer in do what you want as long as it doesn't hurt other people.
Yeah,
as long as it doesn't
120%
affect
agree.
me in a negative way, just
Yeah.
go for it, man. I don't care.
Yeah,
As
well,
long as you're
I
not
feel like,
hurting anyone, it's
to
fine.
the point of freedom of choice and freedom to do what you want, as long as it doesn't affect other people in a bad way, go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to wave your gun around, okay. But if you start shooting people, that's a bit different,
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Maybe.
Exactly. And yeah, we can talk about gun violence later. And we already have talked about gun violence in previous episodes. So if you want to hear our views on gun violence, go back and watch those. Anyway, we're talking about Rona right now.
Talking about the latest cases here in Australia. Anyway, in the last 24 hours, so it being the 2nd of September today, in the last 24 hours, we've had 85 cases in Australia. And I feel like compared to the start, obviously, it's not as bad. Total confirmed cases here being 25,800. So, like...
I mean, in all fairness, Australia's doing pretty well. Like, we're not the US where tens of thousands of people have died from coronavirus. And that's not even an exaggeration either. That's like...
Well, I mean,
actual
25,000 people.
25,000 people have been confirmed to have coronavirus.
Yeah, but they're not deaths. Yeah,
They're not deaths.
Yeah, right. We've only had reportedly 657.
Yeah, so there's only roughly 650 people that have died in Australia from
out
Rona.
of 25,800.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not bad.
And we are one of the leading countries in the search for a cure
Yeah.
for this as well. So hopefully the funding continues to go to the scientists that are working on it. And
But recently, like Victoria is still having hardships. They're gonna have a vote, or they've just had a vote.
they've just had a vote to
Yeah.
extend the state of emergency.
Yeah,
And
by like 6 months, wasn't it?
yeah, it's until I think like March next year or something like that.
It's crazy to think that this all started in March this year, and we're already in September.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
been like 5 months.
Yeah,
Half the year is gone skis.
This year needs to chill the fuck out.
Yeah. What's next? Honestly.
God.
Well, we've got so in the last 24 hours, 70 people in Victoria have been confirmed with cases.
Hmm.
And, compared to, like the Northern Territory, which have 0, and Western Australia have had 0, and what was it? Queensland had 2?
Yeah, 2.
2 in the last 24 hours. So Queensland is starting to, I feel like, recover from their little breach that we had with Victoria.
Yeah,
with Victorians
I think
coming
so.
in. I think yesterday, a man got arrested for attempting to break into the state illegally from Victoria.
I heard about
Again.
that. Again. Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, what's the compulsive need to go to another state right now?
Yeah, especially when all the borders are closed and you're going to get fined if you
Yeah.
get caught. What's the fucking point?
I've heard that there was one case with a lady who her newborn baby had to be transported to a hospital in Queensland for like certain care, but she wasn't able to go with it because of the border restrictions. So
Seriously?
I can see like that's a bit rough. You know,
Yeah,
your
I would
newborn baby
definitely
being
fight
in another
to,
state.
Yeah, exactly. I would definitely fight to be with my newborn
Yeah.
child. For
Even
sure.
if she got tested, waited a few days or whatever until the results came back, and then went. You know, maybe something like that could have been done.
I mean, if the baby's in a critical condition, you kind of need to move him right fucking now. You know.
Yeah, but then I guess if she was sick, you know, then it could be even worse for the baby. And then if she goes to a hospital, it's even worse. You know. So I guess it's kind of like the was it the need of the many outweigh the need of the few?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
You kind of got to consider what's best for the majority of the population.
Yeah, exactly.
Because,
I mean, right now the best thing for the population is for the Victorians to stay in their fucking state right now
and wear your goddamn masks.
God damn it! I mean, what 70 there? 570 people have died.
Yeah, so
Victoria.
The main bulk of coronavirus cases have all been in Victoria. So the bulk of confirmed cases, the bulk of new cases, even in the last 24 hours, have been from Victoria.
Do you think it's because it's like one of the mass touristy places?
I think so.
That's why it got hit so hard.
It's probably that, and the fact that everyone's so tightly packed together in Melbourne, especially because I know that a lot of the coronavirus cases come from Melbourne City or Mitchellshire.
Yeah,
which are both, you know, obviously fairly populated. You know, there's a lot of people there.
Oh yeah, well,
there's millions of people in not a lot of space. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of contact.
But at the same time, they're all, you know, this anti-mask campaign that's going around is majorly in Victoria. Like I follow one of the pages on Facebook, kind of just as a. You know, just a kind of joke. Just to keep tabs on what's going on. You know what I mean? And they're organizing protests and everything. And I think one of their main arguments is that, you know, do you know anyone that has coronavirus? Well, do you?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. I don't either. But at the same time, you know, we are in Queensland with such a low contagion rate at the moment. So I don't know. It's like. They're stating as all of these figures as propaganda, as a way of like public submission to the government. It's the way that they're, you know, oppressing everybody. It's turning the government into like a dictatorship through using the virus to keep everyone in their homes and all that.
Why is that happening all over the world then?
Yeah, I know.
Why are tens of thousands of people dying from this?
Well, the thing is, like, they reckon that WHO is like fabricating all the numbers, and they reckon it's all bullshit.
All right. Tell that to the people whose family members have died from coronavirus.
Yeah, well, we've got what cases by age group. So what between 20 and 29, pretty much the highest contagion like ages, and majority of them are women. To be honest.
Yeah, I was
which is surprising.
Surprised to see that the numbers weren't close enough to equal.
Yeah,
because I felt like, you know, all human DNA is more or less the same.
Maybe,
you know, so
yeah. Well, you've got like the younger ages, so between 0 and 9, 10 and 19, it's mostly males. But then once you pass that, it kind of it's more females. Yeah, and then it kind of equates a little bit. But yeah, you've got 3,044 females between 20 and 29, and the males are 2,750. But then you look at
that's a significant difference.
Yeah, that's 300 people.
Yeah,
and then you look at like 30 to 39, and then it's almost the same number between males and females.
There's like maybe 80 people difference.
And as it goes up, it's the same.
That's more the gap that I was sort of expecting from these graphs, was like maybe like 80, 90 people difference between male and female throughout all the age brackets. But obviously I was wrong.
Yeah, I always thought it would have been a little bit closer. But it seems to be mostly in that one age group that the numbers split mostly. Between 20 and 29.
That age group is obviously the most at risk of catching coronavirus.
They're probably the most social group as well.
Yeah, probably the most social group. That's why. And so it's easy for me to believe that the numbers there are going to be a lot higher.
Yeah. And I guess, where as the age goes up between like the 40s and the 50s, you probably assume a lot of these people would be in relationships. So,
or married.
One couple, married, and, they'd both get sick, so they'd both have it.
Yeah, so it makes the graph a little bit more even there.
Yeah, that's what helps it equate as it goes on. But then you've got, 90 plus, 514 females from 90 years and older, 214 males. That's rough.
That is
Imagine
rough.
hitting 90 and then next thing you know, Rona hits you and you're gone. That sucks.
Yeah.
You made it past lung cancer, smoking every day of your life, always had a bourbon, liver's doing all right. Next thing you know, Rona. That's it. It's like swine flu coming out of nowhere and getting you.
Yeah.
It's rough. Or like bird flu.
Yeah.
It's that one thing you just don't think is coming, and then just out of the blue, there's a new kind of pandemic,
Black
and
plague.
you're gone. Yeah, plague comes back. Rough.
So that's kind of your weekly update on what's happening at Corona Valley in Victoria. But the PM has also said that he wants the premiers to get back to normal operations of the country by Christmas this year.
Yeah, so it's like he wants all the PMs to open up their borders again, and everyone be all
social
and
go to concerts,
go and have your little Christmas family dinner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Go. You know what I think it is? I think Scotty really wants to go to church on Christmas. That's why he wants everything to go back to normal.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, he's very religious, so I wouldn't put it past him wanting to try and get something out of it. Yeah. But a lot of the countries in Europe that are doing very well, they're still, practicing their lockdowns. They're still,
they're still sort of
going pretty hard at it, and I don't think they're going to let up anytime soon.
No.
But ScoMo is thinking Christmas is going to be a good time. That'd be the worst time because, one, consumerism, everyone's just going to run out to the shops and,
exactly
packed Boxing Day sales. Everyone's going to be trying to buy cheap stuff.
Yeah.
If anything, it's going to spread it even worse.
It's going to give us a third wave of coronavirus.
Definitely. And then
happens.
You go out, you buy all your shit, everyone gets infected, you go home, have your family dinner, now the whole family's infected.
Yeah, exactly. It's well done, boys.
Yeah.
You did
Sounds
a good job.
To me. Yeah, love to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And during the middle of what is the worst time in the pandemic for Victoria. And Scotty's like, right, we're going to get back to normal by Christmas.
Yeah, by Christmas.
Let's do it, boys.
Yeah, that should be our target goal.
Like, no. Absolutely not.
And, if you start following the premiers that actually will believe in this and actually try and get it done by then, honestly, they're the ones you got to be careful of because they're the ones that are willing to just, fuck everyone just to do whatever the Prime Minister wants.
Or do whatever the donors for the Liberal Party want.
Yeah, effectively. Because I know Gladys Berejiklian wants to reopen Melbourne, have the borders open and everything. And what? Are you serious?
Gladys Berejiklian.
Things aren't getting better.
Gladys Berejiklian, you can just absolutely do one.
And it's not even your state. Back the fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you, man. Get out of here. You can't even run your own state effectively.
Go burn down a forest or something. Go fucking go kill a
run
koala.
out of forests to burn down.
Yeah.
There are no more forests in New South Wales to burn down.
Nah, she'll try and relocate all of the koalas into
all 10 of them.
Yeah, all 10 that are left. She'll probably even go to Australia Zoo and start throwing rocks at the ones there. Seriously.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
Yeah.
She really hates koalas.
Hates something about them. Maybe one fell on her as a kid and she's just been scarred for life.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. They're trying to jumpstart. They're trying to jumpstart a plan to reopen Melbourne and relax the New South Wales Victorian border. Why? They're the two most heavily infected states. Why do they want to start communing?
You're just
Queensland's
spread it
get
more.
the fuck out of here. No one come near us.
Yeah, exactly. And for credit where credit's due, our premier has been pretty good throughout all of this. I know in the last couple of days we've had a couple of outbreaks in the south side of Brisbane, mostly Logan Way, I believe, and south and southwest of Logan. And everything, every single time something pops up with corona, it's immediately shut down. Everybody in there is tested. Everybody isolates.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. I mean, what?
I mean, but it's saving people from being infected.
I mean,
that's how it should be.
I mean, like, the likelihood of you surviving the infection, I guess, comes down to more if you have any previous underlying conditions. Because most of the people who have died have had something wrong with them.
Yeah, like old people.
Old people, they have breathing difficulties. They have heart problems. Of course, they're going to get affected.
Their immune system is weaker because their cells are dying. Yeah. It's literally they are getting old and their body is decaying away.
Pretty much. And now
they're just weaker.
There's a new virus that their bodies have never experienced before.
Yeah, and has no defenses
and just
against.
Wipes them out.
Yeah.
It's like what? So ScoMo's been quoted here saying that he welcomes the cooperation of the New South Wales and Victorian governments. He says that we must, though, return to the ambitions that we set out in May for the plan to open Australia again. So basically what he's saying is he wants to push the other states to lift their internal borders.
No. Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
I know Western Australia's going to tell them to fuck off. They were like,
exactly.
No, we just won this court case against Clive Palmer. We're not opening our borders anytime soon.
You can't force us to do shit. Boy.
Yeah, we'll pass legislation to shut you up. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, exactly.
We've done it before, we'll do it again.
I mean, the issue that I find with Scott Morrison isn't just that he's an incompetent leader, because we've seen time and time again that he is incompetent in everything that he does.
Yeah.
He was kicked out of Tourism New Zealand. Then he went to Tourism Australia and made the "Where the bloody hell are you" slogan, and got kicked out of Tourism Australia because he dropped tourism by 5% to the country.
Yeah, we lost a lot of money.
We lost a lot of tourism because of the "Where the bloody hell are you?" And now he's Prime Minister.
Yeah,
and now
it doesn't make sense.
He is not a good person.
I mean, even Kevin Rudd speaks out against him all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you don't know who Kevin Rudd is, he was a previous Prime Minister of ours for the Labour Party. And
Kevin 07.
Dead set. The man boosted our economy like no one's business. He just handed out $1,000 to everybody and just stimulated the economy straight up.
During the global financial crash of like 2008, Kevin Rudd just sent out $1,000 checks to everybody. Yep. Every single home got $1,000 check just to stimulate the economy, get it going.
Brilliant. Fucking worked.
But you know what the Liberal government want to do during this time of actual economic crisis?
They want to take everyone's money away.
They want to cut Centrelink by half. They want to reduce it back to where it was.
Which before. Was like $500 a fortnight?
If you were lucky.
Yeah. How are you supposed to survive on $500 a fortnight?
That's below the poverty line. It's just putting like millions of Australians into poverty deliberately.
Yeah, how does that help the economy?
It doesn't. It just damages it.
It just increases suicide rates and depression.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
Well done,
and
guys.
People lose their homes.
Is that population control? Is that something you would do there, Mike?
That's not how I would do it.
That's not how you would do it?
That's definitely not how I do it.
Okay,
no, he's going the slow burn where people can fight back. If you really wanted to go into population control, you need to be swift. In and out. Straight up. Before the media can get to you, before everyone's aware, just start rounding people up and then ship them off to somewhere. And then
ship them off to the farm upstate.
Yeah. Or take them to a farm where they can run around and have fun free. And play with their friends. And it's not. We're not talking about like
euthanasia.
Yeah, euthanasia for the feebly minded from Family Guy?
Oh yeah.
Euthanasia for the feebly minded.
That's funny. I like that. Anyway, yeah, our Prime Minister's an idiot.
Yeah, no. Not that he's planning on culling the human race.
No, he's just a moron.
He's just trying to figure out a way to save the government money by throwing the population into poverty.
Even more so than before.
Which then makes no sense because less people will pay. More people will pay less taxes. So
which means
less
that the
money will be going back into the government. And there will be less money in circulation. Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, circulation, it doesn't really make sense because the banks own the money and they own most of everything. So once the money goes back, it goes back into the bank. They've literally lost nothing and gained everything.
Yeah, and so then the
circulation
banks
is
the banks will literally run out of money to make.
No, but the whole thing with Australia is that we can just keep printing money. We will never run out of money.
Then that causes inflation.
It can cause inflation, but there have been studies and there have been cases where it doesn't. Like when Kevin Rudd gave out $1,000 to everyone, that didn't cause inflation.
Yeah, fair enough.
If anything, like we said, it stimulated the economy. It helped.
Economy.
Giving out $1,000 to millions of people, that's a lot of money.
It's better than giving billions and billions of dollars to a few people, like the Liberal government mostly do with Adani and other coal mining corporations.
Yeah.
Which pay zero tax, by the way. You and I paid more tax last year than Adani did.
Yeah, I know, right? How bullshit's that?
That is fucking bullshit. And speaking of Adani, recently they just had their Abbot Point terminal basically, I think, sued or shut down. I don't know.
Yeah, we've got a legislation agreement here that has basically fined Adani $106 million.
Yeah.
For their mine that they've tried to put up here in Abbot Point.
Yeah, exactly. A link to this will be in the description as well, along with everything else that we're quoting from here.
And it's basically just saying that they got fined because they lied.
They overcharged their customers and lied to them and deliberately misled them about their legal rights, and they paid a witness to give false evidence in court.
Yep. So
they're dodgy motherfuckers.
Adani is just digging a hole. You know what I mean? They're literally digging a hole, digging themselves a hole.
They're fucking up how to be an asshole. I don't know how you do that.
You think a mining company that digs holes for a living would be able to not dig themselves a hole? But
I mean, it's crazy. They're shit at trying to fill in a hole.
So much money. What initial ballot payment, $210 million plus refundable pricing, risk-free, $50 million. Holy shit, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money running around.
It's the value of the transactions, including taxation implications, legal risk. So this is like how much money.
Okay, so I think I know what they were doing. They were overcharging by saying, "Oh, there's legal risk in selling you this coal, so we got to charge you for this."
Yeah, was it
and just making up stuff to charge people for.
They were gonna split 50% of the value and risks of the transaction. So they were gonna take 50% additional pricing risk tax component. So $7.5 million of an additional pricing of risk tax. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's so dodgy and fucking skeezy. I'm surprised that they got away with taking this much money from people.
That's crazy.
With no one sort of questioning and going, hang on, what the fuck?
Yeah, you'd think so. Like, what is this? It says, PwC considered two approaches to allocating the $255 million payment between the two periods produced by the QCPL transaction. So in 2016, all the way to 2022, or 2022 to 2028. Those are the time periods that they have to pay that money. That seems
a bit too lenient.
So they've got quite a few years to pay this off. What? They should be able to just pay it straight away. Like, let's be real here.
I have some serious doubts if you tell me that Adani would not be able to pay $255 million fine.
That'd be chump
straight
change.
away.
Let's be real
Yeah,
here.
that'd be like pocket change. It'd be like, oh yeah, chuck you a $5 and
but
you're chucking $5 million down.
I'll pay it off though over 10 years, please.
Do you have zip pay?
Can I pay afterpay, please?
Yeah. Do you have afterpay?
Jeez.
Yeah, these mining corporations are just there for the money. They don't care about anything else. We've told you about this before. We'll tell you about it again. They just don't care. Don't vote for the parties that vote to continue this trend of underselling our resources whilst also being overcharged for them and seeing no tax on them at all.
Well,
It's just not a good way for the country to make money.
Well, another good thing that you can do to not support these guys is to change your super. Change your super
Yes,
to
that too.
a company that, invest in renewable energy, and they look into, future technology.
Yeah, rather than ancient technology.
Yeah. People that don't invest in coal companies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like solar panels.
Or, palm oil plantations because
literally
they destroy
anything else.
rainforests. Literally, just Google these super funds because they're
Well,
at
at
good
least
ones.
I reckon at least just look into yours, because a lot of people kind of, I feel like when I first started with my super, I didn't think about what they invested in. I didn't think about that. I was just told to get a super, so I just got one.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, the last year I've had more of a look into what my super actually invests in, and I wasn't too happy with it at the start, so I changed, and now I'm a little bit more happy with where my money's going.
Well, that's good.
So, and even then you can more than likely get a higher return on the investments, because renewable energy is only,
Is only profitable.
Yeah, it can only make you money in the end.
Yeah, because
whereas coal eventually is going to run out.
Yeah,
and then your money, where's that go?
Exactly. Does it go into then the demolition of the mine sites, which is going to cause more destruction?
If anything, you'll still be funding them, and they won't be doing anything. So you'll just be losing money.
They'll just be sitting around, and you'll be losing money.
Yeah,
losing your hard-earned money as well, because it
is your super.
Yeah, it is your super.
Yeah, that's what you live on in the end.
Yeah, in the end. And after you retire, I think.
I
think it's more what you're supposed to say.
When you retire and you no longer work, not
in the end. That's what you live
in
off
the
of.
end when you're alone, 80, with nothing to live for. That's what you have.
Oh, Jesus.
You got your super. Buy a boat, travel the world. Isn't that what you do when you retire?
Dude, I don't know about that. I'm just gonna fly everywhere, bro.
It's kind of fair enough. Was it some of the guys at work when I was carrying up some wood the other day, and they were like, "Oh man, pull the trolley up. Why are you carrying it?" I'm like, "Well, if I do my backing, I can retire early." Yep, fair enough.
Okay, I understand that.
I don't have any money in my super though, so. So maybe I'll give it a few more years.
Not enough to retire anyway.
Yeah, not for the next 40 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll become a hermit. Go couch surfing for 40 years.
Dude, that would be fun. As much fun as that would be, it would be kind of shit as well, I feel.
It would be pretty shit.
Yeah, it would be pretty shit.
Just run your minimalism and just throw everything away and live with nothing but the shirt on your back. That's called being homeless, though, right?
Yeah, that's called being homeless.
Yeah, rough.
But speaking of the Liberal government's onset of wanting to destroy our country as, I don't know, I don't want to say efficiently, but as spectacularly.
Yeah,
I guess, as they can, because not only have they just approved a lot of mine sites for coal seam gas and even petroleum and all that sort of stuff, and just offshore of places like South Australia, the Great Australian Bight, the Bass Strait, and up here in Queensland as well. There's a few offshore oil rigs. They also have set out new legislation to turn a South Australian, I think it's a farm, into a radioactive waste dump. Yeah,
so it's legislation that they've been trying to pass for a little while, but they've just added it to this new bill. And what they really want to do is it's called the National Radioactive Waste Management Amendment. And they're basically trying to find land where they can dump all this radioactive waste.
Well, they've already found land. They found this dude's...
Yeah, well, they're looking for permission now to do it, essentially. They're trying to pass legislation so they can.
Pretty much.
And, I like nuclear energy.
So do I.
For the fact that it may not be as sustainable as, I guess, sustainable energy, but, it is clean energy.
Yeah, it is
The
clean
only
energy.
thing that isn't clean about it is the fact that if it has a meltdown, it's a bit rough.
Chernobyl.
Things
Fukushima.
bad things happen when there's a meltdown, but it
very
does
bad
create
things happen.
clean energy, which is good. You know, like you see all the smoke coming out from the
That's
big
steam.
blast. It's steam. Yeah, it's not smoke. It's not pollution.
It's literally just water vapor.
Yeah.
Because the water gets so hot from the nuclear fusion,
From the radium.
from the radium, from the nuclear fusion, that causes this energy, because all energy is heat.
Yeah, essentially.
So we're just basically turning the heat into electricity.
Yeah, I think what they do is they get radium and then they like run electricity through it, and then it creates this reaction so that it just consistently heats and becomes hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. And then they pour water on it, and they continue to pour water on it, and that keeps it cool. But then that radium is what's generating the energy.
So it keeps it at a sort of stable
temperature. Exactly. And when there's a meltdown, that's when it gets too hot, and then everything
goes to shit.
Radiation leaks everywhere. And
I'm sure if you haven't already, you're probably going to go and watch Chernobyl, the Netflix series on it.
Was that on Amazon?
I think it's on Amazon. I don't know. There's fuckloads of documentaries on what happened at Chernobyl and how everything failed. There's also plenty of documentaries on Fukushima, which was a radioactive plant.
Got hit by a tsunami, didn't it?
A nuclear plant that got hit by a tsunami.
Yeah.
I think it was actually an earthquake that caused the tsunami or something like that. And I don't know which hit the plant first.
I mean, the hardest thing is that all that waste went into the ocean, and all the fish in that area became contaminated, and they weren't able to fish around Japan for ages because of that.
Yeah, and dude, Japan is an island. They rely on fish.
Well, yeah,
a lot of the time.
Definitely, a lot of their meals are heavily seafood based.
I'm sure, if you don't already know, Japan is famous for its sushi.
Well, sushi is kind of more Americanized.
It definitely is.
But yeah, they definitely do their sushi. And I mean, seafood there is it's
amazing.
so cheap too because it's so abundant. But at the same time,
it's a small island in the middle of the ocean.
Wonder where that seafood's coming from. Hope it's not coming from Fukushima.
You got to check the.
It's so cheap there. This fish has 3 eyes. It's more meat.
More. This fish has 2 heads. You put in soup now.
So there's a few questions around the new amendment of this radioactive dumping grounds, and they're asking why is the Senate committee public hearing to be held in secret? So they don't want people to be listening in on this debate and this.
That sounds like Dodge City.
Yeah, to me that just sounds like they're gonna pass it and they don't care what people say, so they're just gonna keep it quiet.
And I also noticed reading through this article that they didn't talk to the traditional owners of the land either.
Yeah, they've excluded the Bangala, I think it's.
I don't know. Somebody tell us how to pronounce that.
Bangala.
Because I suck at trying to pronounce other
the indigenous people in the land anyway.
Yeah,
because they've been protesting against Adani, with the mines and all this land that is now just being, I don't know, destroyed. Well, I don't know.
All the forests that are being destroyed as well.
The forests are being destroyed. The rivers are all drying up. It's
because of cotton farm owners over siphoning of the water from the Murray-Darling
they're just taking
Basin.
too much. The Murray-Darling,
and there's no regulation on it at all because the Liberal government doesn't want to pay for it. Yeah,
so instead of focusing on this, nuclear waste dumping bullshit, well, they should be focusing on there was an interview on what was it? It was there's an Australian talk show. It was it's like an interview show where they get on politicians and they all talk.
Is it Q&A?
Q&A? Yeah, I think it's Q&A.
On ABC.
Yeah, it's on ABC. And yeah, so there was First Nation rights to water. There's basically an elder, just I don't know how to describe it. He was trying to bring awareness that, especially in the Murray-Darling, how all these cotton farms, all these huge corporations are taking away the water rights to the First Nation people who have been there for thousands, have been here for thousands and thousands of years, and now their basic rights of water
are being taken
away, and they have no legislation to stop these companies from doing it. And the hardest thing is that not only are they suffering now, but all the fish are dying. 100-year-old cod are dying.
Yeah.
The animals are suffering, and they use those animals for food source as well. So it's literally killing their entire ecosystem.
Yeah, and the whole thing is that like we said last week, that the Geneva Convention wrote out a list of basic human rights.
Yeah.
The first of which is food and water. And by these big corporations just taking these huge amounts of water, like we're talking gigaliters, hundreds of gigaliters of water. We're not talking about like a couple hundred liters here or there. No, the Murray-Darling Basin is a huge water source.
Well, it used to be.
Oh, sorry.
Until it all used to be siphoned and stolen. And all the farms downstream are suffering because they have no water.
Yeah.
Like literally nothing. Their entire stream, like their river is gone. It's all dried up. But then you follow it up a few kilometers up to where all the big companies are. And look there, it's right there.
Oh, look at that. There's water there. Next to those big pipes.
Yep.
And you know what? If one person was, or if one cotton farm was charged for it and they were forced to dump the water back into the Murray-Darling, the boys downstream at the next farm are just going to siphon it back up again.
Exactly.
So there's no regulation to this water theft. And there's a Friendly Geordies video which outlines this a lot better than we do. So if you want some more facts on the theft, on the water theft in the Murray-Darling Basin, go watch this video. We'll link it in the description.
Yeah. Well, I'll also have the Q&A video on there, so I highly recommend you guys go watch that, give it a listen, because honestly, what more can be said than what he says? It's just atrocious what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst part about it is our government is letting these big corporations do it. They're just letting them walk all over them. So, and I find that rather sad, because, we've got, like 26, 27 million people in Australia?
Yeah.
Like it's
how many
not a small amount of people.
No. But there's a large amount of people suffering, further away from the coast.
Yeah.
And they have no water, they have nothing. And it's all because of these companies, and the government's like, you know what? If you want it, you can have it, because we don't want to deal with it.
Exactly. And there was a commission into water theft in the Murray-Darling, which was fronted by Liberal front benches, like Liberal Party front benches. And lo and behold, they found nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So, don't vote Liberal next time. This is your weekly reminder to vote Labor or the Greens.
Well,
Preference
at least
Labor
before you vote, read policies.
Yeah.
Nobody reads policies. And that's the thing,
it's all about marketing.
People can talk as much shit as they want, but read their policies. Read what they're really going to do.
Exactly.
That's what you want. And then if you agree, sure.
Vote with them.
Yeah, just vote Labor. Come on.
Like, at least preference Labor. You don't have to vote one Labor, but you can put the Greens down as your number one pick. But the Labor Party is a bigger party.
Just don't vote Liberal in any way.
Just do not vote Liberal, please.
Like
I implore you.
I think they dropped, was it like 6% in the polls?
Oh man, I hope they drop more than that. To be honest,
I mean,
they really need.
It's
to
good to
drop more
see
than
that they are dropping, and if One Nation drops any further in the polls, then
they're gonna have no seats.
Yeah, she's gonna lose her seats to the Greens. That's it. They're gonna lose their seats.
Brilliant.
Which is great.
Get One Nation out of there. Fuck Pauline Hanson.
Yeah, like they're all racist as fuck. So
hell yeah. I mean, I don't know how we segue onto this next segment.
So we've had a little chat about what's happening around Australia right now.
Yeah.
But we've kind of read about this really interesting chess player, world champion chess player, who, I don't know, look, this guy just seems like a genius to me. And he, back in the 70s, had a mind and thought process that we have in modern day now. Like this guy, he won one of the world champion chess tournaments in 1972 after giving the first 2 games away. Like he purposefully lost twice and still came out on top.
And still won the whole tournament.
This guy's a genius. Like, it's amazing.
His name was Bobby Fischer. He was originally from Russia, I believe, and moved over to the Midwest, I think it was the Midwest in America, and moved around a little bit with his mother. And then at 13, he became a chess grandmaster.
Yeah, like this guy has had a lot of controversial opinions.
Oh yeah, this dude sounds crazy.
This guy kind of just sounds
really
like
smart.
He just says what he thinks is happening with no filter.
Yeah,
and doesn't care what people have to say about it. And honestly, he said that. This is not me. Obviously, this is what he said. He said that this is all wonderful news. It is time to finish off the U.S. once and for all after the 9/11 attacks.
Yes, this is him calling into a radio station after September 9/11, 2001.
Yeah,
where the Twin Towers
and basically said that
collapsed.
America deserved it.
Pretty much just said, the U.S. deserved it because of their treatment of the people in the Middle East.
Yeah, and all the crimes that the U.S. had committed in the world. And it just shows that people are willing to strike back against them. Yeah.
And to be fair, the US has committed a lot of war crimes.
Dead set.
Holy
They're like
shit.
one of the worst. Yeah. I mean, Japan did some nasty stuff to the Chinese in World War II, but...
Oh, Germany did some nasty stuff as well. But
yeah.
Everybody was doing shitty things to each other. Like the US had nuclear testing grounds in the South Pacific and literally just nuked this island community. Didn't tell them for like a week, and then got to the island, forced them all off, and won't let them back on.
Yeah, just nuke the island.
Yeah, they pretty much just nuked the island because everybody was contaminated with radiation.
And it's like what they did in like Hiroshima. They dropped the bomb there, and they dropped a second bomb, and that was all to try and force their surrender. But the sad thing was that
they were civilian.
They did the math,
cities.
And Japan was going to surrender in the next couple of weeks anyway. Yeah. Like they couldn't sustain the battle anymore, like the war. They just couldn't sustain it, so they were going to surrender in the next like couple of weeks or months. And yet the US still nuked them anyway.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the reason why the US has been such a powerhouse before, since basically its inception, is because it's a country built on war.
I mean, when they emancipated from English rule, and then they had the Civil War after that. Yeah, and it's basically just been battle after battle in the entire American history, really.
Yeah, and now they've got a pretty good track record. I'll be honest, in victories versus defeats. I mean, they lost in Vietnam.
Yeah,
nobody's ever allowed to talk about that.
Yeah,
they got fucked up in Vietnam. They were not ready.
No.
Anyway, back to Bobby Fischer instead of talking about you.
But yeah, so Bobby Fischer, he apparently had some extreme paranoia as well. He was he thought that the FBI were watching him and his mum, which was interesting.
There's something funny to note as well. This was back in 1945.
But after his mum's death in 1945. Journalists accessed the FBI files and showed that Bobby was under FBI surveillance, and that the FBI considered him a potential recruit of the KGB,
which was the Russian intelligence agency at the time.
Yep. So they thought that he was working for Russia.
I mean,
how crazy is that?
This is nuts.
Like, this guy has had a crazy life, and he just doesn't give a shit about America, and the Americans hate him for it. They're like, oh no, he's pretty sick, but he hates us. He violated the US sanctions and then literally spat on a U.S. government treat. Like, straight up did not give a shit.
This guy is so funny.
Apparently, he earned over $3 million playing chess. That's not too bad.
Yeah, nice.
What is this? He incurred the wrath of the U.S. government. He was subsequently indicted rough, and a warrant was issued for his arrest
in the U.S.
Oh boy, it's heavily sanctioned by the United States and United Nations as a result of genocidal violence related to the breakup of the country. What? In Yugoslavia. Bobby Fischer publicly spat on the U.S. Treasury letter warning of the consequences of participating in the match. So in a chess match, he basically spat on this treaty and was like, "No, fuck you.
Fuck you, I'm playing this chess game."
Jesus. Man, chess is insane.
I mean, the people that play chess is insane. That's so nuts.
He evaded U.S. imprisonment by becoming a citizen of Iceland. What?
This is brilliant. I love this guy. This guy is nuts, but like the right kind of nuts.
Apparently, he died in Iceland of kidney failure in 2008.
2008.
Yeah, 2008.
The ripe old age of 64.
That's not bad.
That's a good run.
I mean, it's all right. I reckon
it's
I want to
middling.
I want to get to at least 80.
It's middling.
I mean, 64 is pretty good, but I guess kidney failure is pretty rough.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the dude was nuts. He had fillings, right?
Yeah.
And then removed them to prevent his mouth being used as a radio transmitter.
Well, dude, you'd never know. Back then, with all those spy movies,
you
don't know what they're doing.
Back in the Cold War days, like everything was being used to spy on people.
Back in the 70s, yeah. You didn't know who was Charlie and who was it KGB? Who knows?
I don't know.
Because it was between America, China, and Russia. It was those three.
I think it was just America and Russia.
I think China was in on it too.
China was in on it, but I think they were in cahoots.
Because it was wasn't it like it was the information they were trying to? Or was it the Cold War was nuclear? Was it nuclear?
Yeah. Cold War was nuclear because they had the Cuban Missile Crisis where Russia moved a whole bunch of intercontinental ballistic missiles and warships into Cuba because that was it was a free state and Cuba invited Russia over because Cuba doesn't like
and
America.
The US were like, whoa, and then
the US was like, hold up.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so then Alaska was packed with military vehicles at one point because like the gap between the most eastern part of Russia and the most western part of the US is like, I think it's like 80 kilometers or something like that.
But it was also like, I'm pretty sure it was also information. They were fighting over intelligence and information.
This is true. Everybody was spying on each other.
Yeah. So spies were everywhere.
Everybody had spies everywhere. There was always an informant somewhere. Everybody was a spy. You couldn't trust anyone. But, at that point in time, they didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
They didn't have... I guess they weren't as... I want to say as intelligent as we are nowadays. But I just feel like maybe we're a little bit more advanced as a race now.
Yeah.
So we kind of understand that, well, don't nuke everybody because everybody's going to die.
Well, I mean, what's this? Fisher saying that he basically was arrested and he tried to rob a bank. Like, what the hell?
So he got arrested mistakenly as a bank robber. What the fuck?
Nah, that's the FBI, man. They came after him like, nah, you look like a bank robber. Nah, bank robber. Just arrest him straight up. He had basically the highest IQ possible. He scored between 180 and 187. Holy shit.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Smart.
Like 100 is average.
Yeah.
So he 80 points over. That's almost the IQ of two people.
It is the IQ of 3 people from Texas.
Tasmania.
Tasmania. It's the same as the amount of dollars they have between 3 people from Tasmania. I don't know why I'm insulting people
teeth.
from Tasmania. No, that's too many teeth.
Oh, that's too many teeth.
That's too many teeth.
I thought 7. That's the difference. 180 and 187.
Oh, yeah. The difference is the amount of teeth that are shared between people in Tasmania.
Everyone in Tasmania.
Everyone in Tasmania.
They all of them only have 7.
Collectively,
the entire
they have
state.
7 teeth.
Yeah, they share it.
They share it.
They rotate
the dentures.
They rotate. Like town to town.
Oh god.
Yeah. So he was born Jewish, but then he converted to Christianity. Oh, yeah. It's pretty interesting, that's for sure.
This
became such a covert. He became a convert that he gave $61,000 of his 1992 prize money to the church.
1972.
That's
just by the way.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for 1972.
Yeah. Dude, that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's money.
Jesus.
There was also a movie about him called Searching for Bobby Fischer, which was released in 1992. It was a fictional story about a young chess prodigy. And Bobby Fischer did not like it at all.
He characterized the film as a monumental swindle. He got no compensation from the filmmakers either, even though it was basically about him.
Pretty much. It was a quote-unquote fictional story.
Yeah.
But the character's name was Bobby Fischer.
Yeah. Apparently he never saw the film. But still, I don't know how I'd feel. Imagine like someone make a movie about you and then you get nothing out of it and the whole thing is just bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you out to be such a dipshit or like something that you're not. And you just go, dude, come on, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought we were friends.
This guy is amazing, you know. He won the US championship when he was 14, became the youngest chess grandmaster ever at the age of 15. Like
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Like at 15, what were you and I doing at 15? I was still in school. I was struggling
this
at school.
This dude's winning grandmaster chess championships, and I'm like in school learning my fucking tan, cos, and Pythagoras theorem. And all that bullshit.
Exactly. These damn smart kids.
Like $3 million back then in the 70s.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of money. What was this? He had like a $5 million sponsor as well. Jeez.
Yeah, so he was making quite a bit of coin off of the whole chess thing. But following his death, he became involved in a paternity suit, which was very weird. It basically involved his former living girlfriend and her daughter, Marilyn Young, and Jinky Young. There was also...
Well, she claimed that
nephews.
Bobby was the father of Jinky.
Was the father of Jinky as well, yeah, exactly. And then by Icelandic law, that means that the 9-year-old was entitled to Fischer's entire estate.
Yeah, and Fischer left no will at all.
Yeah, so he did make it easy for people.
Yeah.
It's fucking...
So the estate was believed to be valued at 7 figures. To complicate matters further, a Japanese woman and longtime companion of Fischer, Miyoko Watai, claimed that she and Fischer were actually married in 2004, entitling her to the estate. 2 nephews also sued, claiming that the marriage wasn't legal and they, as closest relatives, were the rightful heirs. Jeez.
Dude, his life was crazy even after life. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they also determined that Jinky wasn't the biological daughter.
Yeah.
And then declared Fischer's marriage to the Japanese lady was legal and diminished the nephew's legal claims. So the wife, the Miyoko, she won the estate.
Yeah.
Nice.
So after they exhumed his body.
Yeah.
So, you know. I mean, falsely claiming that your daughter is the daughter of this...
Yeah,
hold her to this massive estate.
Yeah,
and you're just trying to do it for the money, basically. That's pretty scam.
It's a lot of money.
That's pretty scummy, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, the cousin's coming in and being like, "Oh, the nephew's coming in and saying, nah, fuck your wife." We deserve it.
Well, I mean, if they claim that the marriage wasn't legal and they firmly believe that, then they might just not have known.
I guess.
And they were just like, well, hang on, we're his closest relatives right now. We have a claim on this. It's supposed to stay in the family, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess as long as the rightful person got it, which was the wife. But apparently he was also a school dropout. Apparently he sucked in school. He just got D's all the time. Was not socially adept at all. Which I guess you can probably, from people with high IQs, you usually have some form of like
social separation.
Or they have, a lot of them are on the spectrum in some way. And I guess you can see that by him basically failing at school, but then having that kind of IQ and then becoming a grand chess master at 15,
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
It kind of proves that that school grades are not really
honestly,
the be all and end all of intelligence measurement.
And the hardest thing is that that's drilled into you when you're in high school. You think you got to go and get the best scores ever, and then you can get the lowest, OP, and then you can get into that university that you wanted to go to. And I guess it depends on what you want to do, but in the end, that OP isn't gonna get you
very far.
I mean, it might get you into a school, but then it's what? Then it's you. It's all up to you. It
lasts for a year.
Yeah.
Your OP.
Yeah.
And then that's only if you want to
join. So many people are like, I'll take a gap year. Why are you working so hard for an OP?
Yeah, exactly. You don't need an OP.
You don't need an OP if you're not going straight into university after high school.
Exactly. There's no point in going for an OP if you're not gonna use it.
I mean, I know a lot of people who got OP1s and then they never went to uni.
Yeah.
They worked so hard to get that, and it just never got them anywhere.
I don't understand why you would do that.
I mean,
it just makes no sense.
My OP didn't get me anywhere.
Dude, my OP was trash anyway. I'm not even gonna lie.
What did you get, like a 12?
16.
Ooh. R.I.P.
I know, right? What'd you get?
You could have gone to like Nambour High School.
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't though.
I think I got like a 6.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, I was aiming for it because I was looking at this one uni. I was like, I want to get a 6 to get into this one. And then I got it. And then I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to earn money and not go to uni. I'm going to work.
I don't want to incur massive amounts of debt.
Yeah, not yet anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got debt now. I feel like maybe if I had gone to that uni.
I have no debt right now. I'm pretty proud of it.
You're lucky.
I'm very lucky.
My uni degree cost me $60,000. I'll be paying that off for a long time.
Yeah, you'll be paying that off for the next 10 years, mate.
Yeah, boy.
10-year debt.
I love it. Oh. Well, I reckon we wrap that up there.
That's probably a good place to end.
I think it's great to end on this guy. He's hella amazing. We'll post this.
Hella quirky.
We'll link this little article about him in the description if you want to read more into him. He's super interesting, and it's actually about his life is.
I had a lot of fun reading through this article when you first showed me, and I just laughed at most of the facts. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this guy's life?
Honestly,
this is amazing."
He's had a crazy life, and it's definitely worth reading into. People that have these very intriguing lives.
Yes, exactly.
So don't forget to like us, share us, a comment below.
Yes. Remember also follow us on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Podbean, and YouTube. Instagram. Yes. I already mentioned that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes. Just everywhere. Just follow the links. They're all down there. Hit like, follow. It's that easy. And then if you don't, if for some reason you want to unsubscribe, just forget about it. Just don't do it. Just stay subscribed.
Keep our sub numbers up,
please. Yes, please. And share it to a friend. Just one friend. That's just that one extra person, and then they share to one friend, and the next thing you know, we've got 100,000 people listening.
Yes, exactly. And weekly episodes every Thursday. So you're never gonna miss a Thursday with the boys.
Exactly. Make sure that you have your calendar on notify so that when that Thursday comes, ding ding.
Ding ding. New subject episode. Speaking of, we will see you in the next new subject episode. Thank you very much for listening.
Adios.